And David Begnaud is with us now from the Evidence Seizure Unit of the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Department. David, as the sheriff said, this young victim should have been able to walk away from this accident. Explain to us what exactly went wrong.
Vlad, look, it was a minor crash. I mean, this girl, in fact, actually tried to get out of her vehicle and walk away thinking she might be able to. But as the sheriff told me, she unbuckled her seatbelt, she took one step out of the vehicle, and she collapsed and died at the scene of the crash. I want to show you the problem. This is the problem that the sheriff wants people to see for themselves. This part right here is what flew into Huma's neck. This is what killed her. This is what was removed during the autopsy. Now, it should not look like this. This should be a flat object that goes in here. This is the inflator, okay? So you see these holes right here? When an airbag deploys, usually the pressure will come out of the holes. This should not look like this. This should be flat. So basically what happened is when her airbag deployed, there was too much pressure, so it shot up. And this piece, which should be flat as well, flew out. It was a weapon, a murder weapon, and it nailed her in the jugular. Those are the sheriff's words. I want to hand this to my producer real quick as we take you around the car. You see this front look, Vlad, right here? It was a minor fender bender. This, the sheriff says, they see all the time. She was going less than 20 miles per hour. She was driving on her way home. She was going to change and go to work when she ran into the back of somebody. But the sheriff says, we don't think she was texting. We saw her phone was inside of the car. When investigators went in, they looked. It was sitting in the area where you would usually have your cup if you were drinking. I want to show you the steering wheel right here. You can see where the airbag came out. They've already removed that blood-stained airbag. But the interior of the car is intact. There were no injuries to Huma because of the crash inside the car. You see a little bit of damage to the front. There's really no damage to the back. It all came from that airbag. And Vlad, if you're wondering why the sheriff gave us this unusual access into the evidence yard, allowed us to see the vehicle in those pieces, it's because he feels a responsibility to say to people, look, all you have to do is go to a website. It's safecar.gov. You type in your VIN number, and it will tell you right away if your car is under recall and if you need to replace something. In fact, Vlad, one of his employees did it today before the sheriff's press conference. Sure enough, he owns a vehicle that is under recall.
David, incredible reporting. Thank you so much. It is unbelievable to see the interior of that vehicle where 17-year-old Huma was sitting, and it doesn't look at all damaged, just the front of that vehicle. And then when you showed us so vividly that very sharp piece of metal that caused that gash in her neck, it is heartbreaking. Have you had a chance at all to talk to the family, or is that something that they're probably not wanting to do at the moment?
Yeah. Well, you know, the mother and father have not wanted to speak, and you can understand. But today at the sheriff's press conference, her brother was there, and he spoke. And he talked about her wanting to be a nurse. He talked about her being the light of their lives. He said she was the best looking in the family, someone who made them laugh. But we did have to ask this question. Did the family know about the recall? Honda has told us that recall notices were sent out to the family. This is a 2002 vehicle, and Honda says they repeatedly sent notices out to this family which owns this vehicle. We asked the brother, and he said he opens the mail. He cannot recall getting that recall notice. So again, the point is this: if you have a vehicle, especially a used vehicle, take advantage of that website. It is as simple as entering your VIN number and finding out if you are under a recall, and it will be done for free. This girl should not be dead, the sheriff says. This was useless. It didn't have to happen, but it happened because something simply was not replaced.
www.safecar.gov. David Begnaud in Richmond, Texas. David, thank you very much.
You bet.